Raise your hand if your child plays a sport. I'm sure you all want what's best for your child. Now, imagine this. Your child has faced a severe injury, but what people don't understand is that the physical injury is only one aspect of it. Your child could face mental health issues. Even with you by their side, they're stressed and want nothing more than to get back out there. Now, this is not some made-up story. We have experienced this firsthand.
Hi, my name is Isabella Hill, and I attend Ashland Paul G. Blazer High School. During my junior volleyball season, I fractured my right lower lumbar spine. I was out for 4 months, which was the entire season, and I couldn't practice and I couldn't play, but I watched each of my teammates win pivotal games that I should have been a part of. It's played a big role in my mental health, causing stress and anxiety about when I was going to be able to play again and how my level of play was going to be affected when I returned.
Hi, my name is Emily Adams, and I'll be a junior at Barron County High School. My sophomore soccer season, I received a concussion in a pivotal game. I was out for 3 weeks from my sport while I finished the return to play protocol and wasn't at school for 3 days. I missed key units of school that I still do not remember to this day. This severely affected my mental health, and I had anxiety, depression, and really just wanted to get back to my sport.
Hi, I'm Josh Line. I attend Larry A. Ryle High School, and in December 2019, 1 week before nationals, I broke my foot. This affected my mental health extremely, causing me to go into severe anxiety and tons of stress. But we are not alone. 55% of high school student athletes struggle with mental health issues post-injury. 25% of females, 30% of males struggle with stress, frustration, and anxiety, but only 10% seek help.
That is why we've created Comeback Health. I'm Severe Jane, this is Viksha, and you've already met Josh, Emily, and Isabella. Comeback Health is a digital mental health support platform to support athletes post-injury. So, how does it work? Let's say I'm Isabella's coach. She just fractured her back, but I know exactly what to do because my school is partnered with Comeback Health. I log onto the platform and manage my roster of students. I find Isabella and assign her a mental health assessment. This is a diagnostic test to evaluate her mental state through an analysis of her body language. Let's see what it looks like on Isabella's side. Isabella sees that she's been assigned a mental health assessment, but that's not all. She has access to a range of features, including the ability to set goals for herself to recovery, share her story with peers and the world, as well as talking to volunteers 24/7 who have gone through similar experiences. Together, we believe these features can create a space of solace, understanding, and encouragement for these athletes. And software development, as you can see, is already underway. We want to finish this project in the next 3 months so that we can implement this into schools for second semester. Now, we didn't just come up with these ideas at random. Instead, talking to coaches, athletes, and mental health professionals to find out not only what the experts recommend, but what the users need. For example,
My physical therapist, Dave Coburn from Tri-State Rehab Services, he broke down my treatment plan, not only physically, but mentally. Physically, I rehabbed like I was supposed to. Took way longer, but it's okay, here we are. And then on the mental side, he made me set goals for myself, week by week, what I wanted to accomplish to get back. That's why at Comeback Health, we have goal setting. Then we talked to Cole Wilson, a volunteer assistant coach for Kentucky women's tennis. And he said that noticing the body language, the sluggishness, not wanting to participate in practice or games or any daily activity was something else that they noticed in their athletes. So that's why we have mental health assessments. And then finally, we talked to Zachary Strobel, a former baseball player. He said that he wished he had help knowing that there's something more to life than just the sport or just baseball, because that's something that we all have to look to after an injury that could potentially end our athletic career. That's why we have community support or 24/7 chat.
Currently, our market size is 49.4 million athletes who face mental health issues across the whole entire US. And so 2.5 million athletes are high schoolers that face mental health issues across the US. So what we plan to do is start right here in Kentucky. 96,400 high school athletes are in Kentucky.
So with that 96,400 athletes, how much money can we actually make? Our first source of revenue is the community support side of the platform. So talking to volunteers, being able to share your story. This we want to be open and accessible to the public, not making money directly, but by running ads, Google ads. With our 96,400 potential users, even if each user only got on the platform once per month, an underestimate, we can make $23,000 a year right there. But that's not where the majority of our money comes from. Instead, from the management side of our platform. This is where coaches can see their rosters and assign mental health assessments tracking their recovery. For this, we will charge schools a subscription per student at the affordable price of $2 per student-athlete account that they want to include. With our 96,400 athletes, this equates to $196,800 every year just in Kentucky. Lastly, the mental health assessments that evaluate body language, as we want to include, are run through a platform called Okaya, who charge us $1 per assessment. We want to charge this directly to schools, breaking even on that part.
We analyzed that we had three main costs. Our first is our marketing. We plan to spend $11,852.80 on telesales yearly. To break even on this cost, we would need 5,625 student athletes on our platform. Our second cost is our website. This would be $390 reoccurring yearly. And to break even on this cost, we would need 195 student athletes on our platform. And our last cost is Okaya. As Severe said, Okaya charges us $1 per mental health assessment, so the school districts would directly pay that to Okaya. With this information, we made two growth models, a fast growth model and a slow growth model. We plan to break even in both models within the first year. In our fast growth model, we plan to reach the entirety of Kentucky within 5 years, and we can do this by growing by 2.017 times per year. In our slow growth model, we plan to reach the entirety of Kentucky within 10 years, and we can achieve this by growing by 1.362 times per year. With this information, we created a sales plan. There are currently 171 school districts in Kentucky alone, and we're already in contact with some of them, such as JCPS, Boone County, Kenton County School District, and Hardin County School District. In our slow growth model, we plan to reach all of the school districts in Kentucky within 10 years, and in our fast growth model, we plan to reach all of the school districts in Kentucky within 5 years.
As of right now, we are in contact with the Kentucky Department of Education, as well as Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman's office and Aaron Gallagher, who is the CEO of This Is My Brave, which is a nonprofit organization for mental health issues.
Lastly, let's talk competitors. We have three major competitors: Life Stance Health, Team Snap, and Whoop Unite. Life Stance Health and Whoop Unite focus on the mental health aspect, assigning therapists the mental health assessments. Team Snap, on the other end of the spectrum, is for the coaches to manage rosters, to ask if their athletes are coming to practice, and to check up on them. So that's why we have Comeback Health, to bridge the gap between mental health and the coach's side. That way, athletes can get back to playing after an injury.
So parents, tell your schools to use Comeback Health and ensure that your athletes, your children, don't have to struggle with their mental health.
Thank you.
So as a former student athlete, I can't tell you how important this problem is to solve. The other comment I've got is your presentation was really fantastic. You could tell that everyone up there was very well versed in your problem and you were all dialed in, so really great work. The one question I've got is, did you do any research on what pro athletes are doing? I'm sure that they're going through the same problems when they get an injury, and then that mental health aspect of coming back, like, you know, they've got the money to spend. What are the best practices?
So the one example I can cite for that is a meeting I had with Clydney Clanton. She is a women's PGA golfer that went to Auburn University, and she talked to me about her mental health experiences and the struggle she had. She believed that there was, first of all, she was heavily in support of this product. She believed that while she had not been injured, she had watched her fellow athletes been injured and struggle with their mental health. And in her household that was very supportive of mental health, she assessed that this was a great issue to solve, but also assessed that there wasn't that many resources for her out there besides just talking to her parents, for example. So no, there wasn't that much out there right now, which is why we're trying to fill that gap.
Thank you.
So in contrast to my colleague, I have no experience with all of the information that you brought in for the student athletes, so thank you for educating me. I appreciated that. I applaud you for being very focused in terms of where you want to go and what you're addressing, and being clear about the market that you're going after as well. My question is about the fast growth and slow growth. You gave an explanation about the fast and the slow growth. What would determine which path of growth would you be taking, and why would you do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, as I said earlier, our goal is to reach all the school districts in Kentucky. And with our amount of money that we're spending on marketing, in our fast growth model, we hope to achieve that within 5 years. But telesales are not always 100% effective. So we also have a second plan, and that is within 10 years. And that is still giving us enough profit and reaching enough people. So we really hope to be within our fast growth model in 5 years, but 10 years is always an option.
Again, great presentation, really focused. I had a question, and I know you've done this research, but the coaches seem to be a key contributor. And I know there was testimony from athletes and trainers, but what feedback did you get back from coaches to manage this environment?
So we talked to quite a few coaches, actually. So we talked to 4. We also talked to Michael and Jessica Cunningham. They coach Georgetown tennis. And they basically kind of went along these lines of noticing the body language and the sluggishness, that type of looking for those signs. But then they also said that if an athlete comes to them, they have to go to them, and then they have to refer to somewhere higher up. So they can't solve the problem themselves. So they don't really have a lot of leeway with what they can do. So that's kind of was something that we really wanted to focus on, and Comeback Health is just so that it doesn't have to go further than the coach, and it can just be within the coach.
Great. One thing I'd recommend is, as you're educating the athlete, you also need to educate the coach, right? Because the coach is not, they're used to putting a game plan together, but this isn't their thing. So make sure you're educating the other side of this too.
Actually, we did take that into account, if I may. We didn't present this necessarily, but a big part of what we did for coaches, right? I said that we want coaches to be able to monitor their athletes' progress, right? But what do they do with that information, right? So we actually want to provide articles, videos, and other resources that have been catered by mental health professionals so that they can take the required steps to support their athletes.